Hello YouTube, this is Boston Best 0407. In this video I'm going to talk about something that has been on my mind for a while, and I thought about how I want to approach doing a video on it. And I guess I put it off, or I didn't do it immediately, but I figured I'll probably just do it now. And I want to discuss this idea that's been around in feminist circles, for a while, something that you hear a lot, and it's this belief that women can, have it all, quote unquote. And I want to discuss this and really point out that it's a myth, it's an illusion that is impossible to achieve and isn't really very realistic. And I'm going to make this video a response to a video that Nocturnus Libertas, a feminist here on YouTube, did, in which she was trying to debunk, I guess, somebody else who said that in another video, I guess, that said, ladies, you can't have it all. And she's saying, yes, you can have it all. And this is, I think, problematic. But I thought I would explain this by way of a personal story. And I probably shouldn't, do this, but I think it's important because when you deal with issues like these, people have a habit of saying, well, you're just trying to preserve your privilege, or you're just trying to do this or that or the other thing. Basically, there's self-serving motives, and you're probably a male chauvinist pig. But there's very good reasons to feel the way that I do, and there's very good reasons to feel the way a lot of men do. But, men being men, we probably are not inclined to particularly, share our views, tell our stories, things like that. But I think it's important, so I'm going to tell a little story of mine. And several years ago, when I was still in high school, I had this idea. I wanted to start a band. I wanted to make an extreme metal band. And I wanted to play, the most violent and aggressive music ever. I wanted to play real punkish, really hard, heavy, harsh, music. And I had some trouble in the beginning. I had one thing that didn't work out. I had another thing that didn't work out. And then I started my own stuff with my friend. And I was doing this with my friend. We didn't really see eye to eye very well, and by the time I got to try and start up my own thing, we had a drummer, but there was just a lot of things that were going on. There was a lack of communication with me and my friend, and then with the drummer, he didn't really want to play the kind of music I wanted to play, so he wasn't really into doing it, and so we got into an argument, and it eventually happened that it fell apart, and I was having problems with other people at the time. So I wasn't probably in the best emotional state or whatever. But the point is that I was getting into it with people, and that I was having problems being able to achieve what I wanted to achieve. So meanwhile, I was having problems at home. And the thing is, I really just wanted to. I didn't really want. I wasn't really thinking about things in a big way. I just wanted to have fun making music, but everybody else wasn't really thinking that way, I guess, and I was probably unrealistic, and so, but this was my dream. I wanted to make music for the longest time, and I never really had the opportunity to do that. I really wanted to do it when I was in high school, but I graduated high school, and I had to leave my home. I was kicked out of my house because I was having problems at home at the time. And so it ended up ending with me being thrown out immediately. Immediately left high school. Bam, out of the house. I had to go, and I ended up having to move out of state. And I never really got my finances together. Never really got myself off the ground. And to this day, I'm still having problems and things like that. But the point is that I never had the chance to have it all, and there was nobody that just handed me something out of the blue. I had to struggle on my own, and I still struggle, and I did finally, after 4 years of working with these songs, I did finally record on my own, all on my own. a demo, but it was a harshly recorded, awful sounding demo, which you can actually find on my other YouTube page. Um, and I eventually got to a point where I had to move on, and after a while, after several years of doing this, I had to move on to do other stuff with music, just because I'm a very creative person and I have a lot of creative energy and things like that. But I couldn't keep doing this damn thing. I had to move on, so I moved on and started trying to do other stuff in the same type of style of music, in related styles of music. But the point of this story is that you don't get to really live it all. There's always circumstances and things that conflict against whatever it is that you want to do, and so you kind of have to be realistic about your prospects in life. And I think young girls in the Western world have had a really sheltered existence because the idea that you can have it all is just not particularly realistic. I know that for example, you're a musician, and maybe I hope maybe you can relate to what I'm talking about. But men, for example, um, most men who are passionate about music, who make music, who are musicians, they would probably rather do music for a living, but they get the clear impression when they're very young, told by their families, everybody, music is not a. People have to even say things like music is not a real career. It's not something unless you're a trained musician, which actually my mother is a trained musician. She does music for a career, but she doesn't do music like write her own music, but she teaches. That's if you're I mean I don't consider myself to be a very talented musician, so I could never be a music teacher or something like that. But if you're not if you're not a really good musician, you can make it work for you in some way. You have to choose a real career. You have to choose a real money making career, and that's what happens for most people. So there is no having it all. Having it all is a myth because most people throughout history and throughout the world don't get to have it all. You have to be realistic. You don't always get what you want in life. And some of my own experiences, my own failures, have hardened me to real life. Because when I was young, I was idealistic, and I really thought I would get some stuff together. But after growing up, you kind of have to get a clue, and maybe in some way it was healthy for me. I don't really think it wasn't healthy for me. But that's really what I have to say on this subject. It's don't fault people for trying to be realistic. Try to pursue what you want. Take your chance or whatever. I'm not telling young girls not to have dreams or not to be able to go out and do something, but have some freaking perspective. Because most people, most men don't get to have it all. What makes women think that they can have it all? I don't mean that to sound disrespectful, but it's just the way things are. It's just a dose of reality. Anyway, that's all I have to say, and talk to you later. Bye.